Hey everybody, welcome back to Backyard Garden Coop, and today we wanted to show you guys our chicken coop that we built DIY. I built this, came up with the ideas myself, and I wanted to showcase some of these for you guys who are interested in building your own chicken coop at your property, in town or out of town. This chicken coop would suffice for both projects. Let's get into how we built this right here and right now. So this chicken coop is 6 foot long by 4 foot wide, and we went 4 foot from the bottom of where the chickens live up to this part, and then on this side we ended up going 6 foot up to give us a really long pitch with the roof. We wanted to make sure the rainwater or melting snow would get right off of this roof quickly and not cause us any kind of water issues. So as we started to build this, we wanted to make sure that we gave the chickens enough space. And you can see as you come inside here, what we did is, I'll crawl in there and I'll show you guys. So we just started with our base down here in the chicken coop. We had brought up a floor, framed it in on the bottom, and then covered this with this OSB wood, and then I started to build on top of all of that. The only things that are going from the ground up are the 4x4 posts. You can see 1, 2, 3, and then a fourth right there on the doorway, and that's the main frame of the build. You can see here I didn't go every 16 inches or every 24 inches because really there's no need when it's 6 foot. I went right in the middle with one stud, and then I went 2 here because of the way the siding worked out that I utilized for this. And as I went and did the roofing, if you can see it up here, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 roof studs that run from the back to the front of the roof, and they're separated out, I believe, anywhere from 16 to 24 inches apart. Maybe this might even be 30, but it's so small that you can get away with that, and it gives you a lot of strength. Plus, it's a chicken coop, so I'm not too concerned about it caving in or anything like that. We were able to just notch out our boards here and run them up and literally just set them down, and I use these braces. You can kind of see them because they're painted. That way they could be stabilized and make sure the roof stays strong and doesn't do any of this bowing or anything like that. You can also see how here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes for the hens to be able to walk into and lay their eggs. One thing I would say that I think could be better for your chicken coop if you're going with this type of design is to make sure that they're not just able to directly walk into the box, because they end up going in there and pooping a lot. It's not really the cleanest all the time. It works pretty good, but it's not the best. I think the next best thing would be is to elevate that a little bit and make the chicken have to jump up there and get in the box to stay away from the feces where they're wanting to lay their clean eggs. So on this side, what we ended up doing is framing in our door for the chickens. And we had these original frame boards here, and I had to add in this frame right here, a little smaller, to fit our automatic chicken run door that you'll see as we go around the chicken coop. So as you're going through this design, you're going to want to think about how big is your chicken door going to be, if you're going to use an automatic, if you're going to make your own out of wood or whatever, and have it do a manual pulley system. You need to think through that, because I didn't think through that, and what happened was I added these boards thinking it would be okay, and it wasn't enough, so I had to cut everything out and do more work to make that all happen. Another thing that we've got here, of course, you can see this roosting bar here. We don't have it in here because I'm in the middle of cleaning it, but this board, and there's another frame board over here that holds our other roosting bar. So we have 2 roosting bars for the hens at night. We like to use 2x4s for ours, and I cover these in linseed oil as I put them in here because it helps keep the bugs and mites away. That linseed oil gets into that wood nice and deep, and it helps keep bugs out of it. Since I've done this, we have not had any issue with mites at all. So we did have a previous issue with scaly leg mite. As soon as we cleaned the chicken coop out, we did all the precautions, and this right here has helped tremendous with keeping them away. The next big thing that I did inside this chicken coop is take some Hardwire screen. This is really heavy screen material, and I had an air compressor and some staples and a staple gun, and I went through and I measured out all these little holes where we have our air channel in this chicken coop, and I tacked all this heavy screen on each one of these channels, down low and up high, to prevent bugs from getting in. Of course, you can't prevent every single bug or every single fly, but this prevents a lot of things from getting in here, and that is something that I would say and recommend for all people to do if you're going to go with this kind of a design. The other thing that's awesome about this chicken coop that I didn't realize what I was doing, but it turned out to be really awesome to keep airflow through here at all times. I made this roof at the extreme pitch you see, and then I left a gap down low all the way across the rear part of the chicken coop and up high all the way across along the top of the chicken coop. We have never had water get inside of this chicken coop, even though there's always airflow going through. And you'll see as we go outside why that is the case. We made sure the rear lip was long enough past the gap with a nice drip edge to where the water just flows right off quickly. There's never been water get in there. And the roof goes far enough out that it doesn't allow for any kind of water to get blown into the chicken coop and cause moisture damage inside the coop. As we went and built this up into that very extreme pitch to get the water off and allow this air channel to work, one of the things that I had to do, as you can see on this side, I have my original 4x4 post right here, and this is all a framework that I put up, a new wall. But what I had to do, I did the same thing on this side. You can see it's the same height about right here on this wall. But what I did is I ended up building another wall like this here, and these beams and all this. That's a new structure that I sat down on top of the 4x4 post here. So that gave me that extra 2 feet up to get that elevation on the roof that we needed. So if you're going through your ideas on how to add pitch to your chicken roof and you're not really sure the best way to do it, I just found on top of these 4x4 posts, making a new wall and just setting it down, using some lag bolts to hold it down while I was in the building process was a really great way to do that. So now I want to talk about painting the interior of your chicken coop. Now, I don't think you have to do this. Some people actually think I was crazy. Some of my friends called me crazy for doing it. And it did take extra money, and it took extra time to make sure I did it all. And what I did was I took some exterior paintable caulking, and I literally sealed every single crack that you can see anywhere a board was up and there was a crack. Ceiling, floor, in the boxes and everything is sealed, and I let that dry how it should have. I think it took 48 hours for it to completely dry, and then I got a paint that had low odor to it. So I went through this. I actually had to prime it first. All this wood got primed with, I think, 1 or 2 coats, and then I painted it 2 coats as well, all over the coop. You can see it's bleached white in here, not necessarily with the chicken stuff, but it's white all over, and this has helped prevent bugs. It keeps it looking cleaner. It looks nicer, and when you go to clean it out like we are now, it's easier to see where the problems are at, and I think it also is going to prevent a lot of moisture problems as we move forward with our years and years of having chickens for our family. As we come back out to the outside of the chicken coop, let's just go over the door real quick. I put up this siding piece here first, and then as you can see, I literally just cut out the door. You can see the original siding is here. I cut it out, and that way I knew exactly that it would fit, and all I did to make a door was take the siding trim that you see here, and I screwed them together. You can see the screws actually throughout all around on the door. So I had screws all over holding this siding in, and that allowed the door to come and stop right where it needed to versus going through the chicken wall. The other thing that I did was add a little bit of a trim here. It's like a little furring strip, and all it does is just guarantee that everything stops where it needs to stop inside the chicken door there. It's pretty large. I think it's 2 foot by maybe 3 foot or something like that. Big enough for us to get a rake in there and clean everything out. You can see I could crawl inside of it. I'm not super big. I'm 5'7", 195 pounds. So for me to get inside of it's kind of tough, but I can still do it and get things taken care of that I need to get taken care of. So that's how the door went up. We use dual latches here. We have these latches that have a key that just twist lock like that, and then you put one down here, twist lock like that, and that way it's latched tightly like that, and you don't have to have any concerns about your chickens getting away. As you can see, there's 2 locks. You'd wonder, well, are they the same key or do you have to get 2 separate keys? I was able to find these that have this same key. I'm able to come out here and unlatch these just like this. You know, you just turn them, they unlatch, you'll open it up like that, pull it open, and you're ready to go inside. So let's look at this now. We've got the pitch of the roof. We brought it up and over the chicken boxes far enough that when it rains, the water doesn't just come straight down on here and get everything soaking wet unless it's a blowing rain, which you're just going to have problems anyway with any kind of coop with heavy blowing rain. And so this overhang allows you to come out here and all the water goes that direction, not on some of the chicken coops that I've seen where the water comes at you, like pitched like this, and you're trying to get to your eggs, but the water's coming in on top of the boxes, in through all the cracks. We wanted to stay away from that, so we went the opposite direction on our angle. That way we can come out here, not have the rain hitting us in the face, get our chicken eggs, and also get the water shedded away from the boxes to prevent water inside the boxes. So now I want to show you the chicken doors. I showed you how the chickens get into their boxes from the inside. We made these boxes roughly 12 by 12 boxes for each one of the hens. I think that's the recommended size for a hen. We've never had any concerns with the hens like getting in there or getting out, being too big or too small. They all seem to use every single one of them, so it's not really been a big issue. But we did go ahead and do 2 doors, so we've got a couple hinges and just a door made out of siding. Flips up like this. We put a few boards underneath here, not only to help screw the siding down to, but give it some weight so it can actually shut and be heavy when it's sitting down. So you can see 1 door here and 1 door here. I went with that method because I felt like 1 door would be kind of heavy on the hinges and harder for my kids to deal with when they come out to get the eggs. It's easier for them to be able to lift this up and reach inside and grab the eggs and then go in the house. So that's how we configured the doors. And here in the boxes, you can see I put up barriers in between each one of the boxes. And so there's 6 spots for the hens to go, and they're pretty deep in there. I did paint all these again to keep the moisture down and keep the rotting down in the wood. And so that's basically it. I mean, I built it off the frame underneath, and I brought it out, and you can see how there's 6 of them here for each one of our hens to use. And now we're on the other side where the chicken door is at, and we decided to go and spend the money. This is $150 for this Mana Pro automatic chicken coop door. I did not want to have to come out here and open the door every morning. We've got 4 children. We've got a busy life. We didn't want to have to deal with that. We wanted to make sure our hens get out right when the sun comes up, when they are ready to come out. And so we're able to set this either with the amount of light in the sky or per time frame that you want it to be set. So we go ahead and we set that. This door drops at night when they go in, and it opens when the sunlight comes up in the morning. They come out on their own. You never have to worry about them. And for us, the $150 was a no-brainer to keep our chickens healthy and happy. Now, as the chickens come out, they're elevated off the ground because we brought our chicken coop up off the ground by about 18 inches or so. Maybe 24 after I put them on the blocks, but we needed to build some sort of ramp, and what we did is just take a piece of siding, and then I took my circular saw and I just stripped several of these little pieces of siding off and took a few little nails, just tack, 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 all the way down, and that way they can get their feet and their claws on here and they can climb on up. They use it. It's really easy for them to get up and down. Never had a concern, and this is a really easy way to make your ladder for them to get up into the coop or down when they're getting ready to come out. We elevated the chicken coop off the ground, and I didn't know this was going to be such an awesome piece of our chicken coop and run. We wanted a space to have them be able to come out into their little covered run and then get back under here and have another spot to move. And so we wanted to give them as much space as possible. And I got these blocks that hold the 4x4 post all the way around, and once I built the coop up, we elevated that even a little bit higher off the ground, and it gives them an awesome place to go under here. You can see them under there, and when it's hot like it is now, 95, 100 degrees, this is the money spot for them to hang out while it's really, really warm, because this coop is providing the ultimate shade and cover for them, and they can stay cooler during those hot months. So this turned out to be a gem for us. I highly suggest, if you're building a chicken coop, to go ahead and give them a spot underneath the run, or underneath the coop, I mean, and you'll thank me later for that. It also helps getting these 4x4 posts up on these blocks that you don't have to worry about them being on the ground and being exposed to moisture at all times, and keeping them healthier and keeping your structure stronger for a longer period of time. So now I want to discuss the siding and the trim that we used. This material is actually pretty expensive. This is actually siding for your home. It's the siding that's going to be around about $50 to $60 a sheet at any lumberyard, Lowe's, Home Depot, or local lumberyard. But this is that highly compressed siding that's pre-primed and ready to go when you put it up. This stuff will last and last and last. And I'm telling you, I know it's going to cost a little more money, but it's going to make your life easier if you're looking to have chickens further and further down the road. I didn't want to do a plywood or a little scrap wood kind of coop and then in 3 years have wood rot and have to go back and rebuild it. I want this thing to last. I don't want to build another one if I don't have to. So I suggest buying this siding material and then go ahead and get the same trim. These are the 1x4 trims all the way around. That makes it look nice and clean, and it really can look pretty in your backyard. The roofing material that we went with as well, we did just like you would on your home. I had some spare shingles left over. These are 30-year shingles. These aren't the 3-tab old ones. These are nice, heavy-duty shingles. I also made sure I got the black tar paper underneath, rolled that out, and then did my shingles, but I obviously did as well. I had these drip edge, and I didn't go with the real big drip edge, but I got the drip edge like I talked about earlier, right even under here. You can see it, and attached it all along the way, all the way around. If I were you, I would highly suggest about a solid roof, maybe even a metal roof if you want for your chicken coop. That might even be better than shingles. We just happen to have some shingles laying around, and we use these. Now, if you're doing the single pitch roof, you got to remember to use a flashing at the top there to make sure you cover that little lip and you don't allow water to get into the lip of the shingle on the top and cause you problems down the road. So there you have it. That's our chicken coop. We've enjoyed having, our hens have enjoyed having it. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope that if you try some of these things that I've talked about, you can see that you're enjoying your chicken coop, your hens are loving it, and it lasts you guys years and years and years to come. Everyone, take care.